Hello everyone, Jose of Joy Fish Keeping. This is my daughter and a friend looking at an earlier version of the 120-gallon tank, which I currently house. This is a very full planted tank with small species, but using plastics as some plants. Let's explore this possibility. For most of us who consider ourselves to be serious fish keepers, and those of us who keep aquatic plants and over the years have evolved to manage to keep them alive without killing them. Although we have ups and downs, sometimes the plants do well, sometimes they do not, but we sort of learn how to fine-tune things so that the aquarium, there is a balance. I can tell you that personally, I love the fish as much as I enjoy and love plants and a nice, luscious looking plants. This particular tank we're looking at is a 90-gallon tank. It's a mixed community tank, and I have a fairly good number of Buenos Aires tetras. For those of you who have kept them, know that they are notorious for liking a nice diet of salad and eating all your plants. I previously, when I first showed you the earlier version of the 120-gallon, which sits next to this one to the right of this tank, I got a school of about 17 of them, and within a few days I noticed that some of the plants were really decimated. And I saw one or two videos where one guy says, "Oh, they're horrible." Yeah, I guess you cannot call them horrible. They are a beautiful schooling fish, and that's what they do. They love plants. They are more vegetarian in nature, although they can eat anything. But that is something that I did not know at the beginning. So I returned a bunch. I bought them at a local Petco. I returned all of them. Then later on, I had them on a 60-gallon tank, which I will show you in a little bit. Again, I've tried, I think, every possible, not every plant, but I've tried a different amount of plants to see, and they consume all of them. The only thing that have survived is cryptocorynes, crypt, which you can see at the center of this tank. They don't bother those at all. I've tried a number of anubias, which are supposedly very hardy for them. Not a thing. On this tank, I did try a new tall anubia. I said, let me try this. I didn't get finished putting it in place before you realize that they started munching on it, on these large leaves. And also the Congo tetras also. I noticed that they just took a clump of the little bulb that was coming out of the leaf, just bit it right off, swam away with it, and just had a field day with it. I said, no, this won't work out. So then I said, okay, listen, I don't particularly like plants. A lot of people who are serious fish keepers, they do frown on having plastic plants. And those of you who keep goldfish, African cichlids, you know that keeping live plants is basically so no. They either dig them up, they eat them, and they won't be kept. So I say, well, I like the greenery in the fish tanks. It just makes such a big difference, and I decided to try a couple of plastic plants. So I did give up on trying to keep live plants with the Buenos Aires tetras. And I also find out that the Congo tetras love the plants too. So the other tanks are not bothered by any other fish that I keep. I guess those in particular are the ones that kind of do a number on the plants. So I tried a few plants here, primarily just to give some color. In the case where the Buenos Aires tetras are, was just to have some greenery and some change in the looks of the tanks. And also in some of I added a plastic plant, so it provides, other than provide hiding spaces, it also hides the pre-filter that I have on the tanks. So this is what they look like. This is what I'm gonna show you some videos of the before and after the plastic plants. So if you frown on plants like I still do, they do make a difference. So you have to adapt to changes and use them when you can and use them when you cannot. But then the funny thing also is that most people that come to the house, they look at all the plants, think all the plants are fake anyway. And I said, no, those are actually real plants, and they do stay alive. They do stay alive, and they do quite well. was just it was an additional accent. The tall plants did quite well covering what I wanted to achieve, and it does create a nice balance between the real plants and a touch of color to your aquarium. I'm not really crazy about plastic plants, and I think one of the things is just finding some that don't look too fake and may look natural, at least from a distance. As I said, a lot of people think that most of the plants that I have are fake when they first look at them, until you explain that they're really actually real plants. Some of these plastic plants move in the water and may look to have more of a natural feel, so it's just playing around and see what works best. This tank I only added one plant, the one on the right, that is really mostly to hide the filter. But again, you can have the tank not looking so plain. Nothing wrong with having a plain tank, but I do like the balance of color, and the green, especially around some of the fish color, I think just looks striking at times. Yes, I have to admit that the Buenos Aires did twist my arm to try something different. Experiment with your tank, try different things. Don't get fixed. It's your tank. You do whatever the heck you want with it. If you don't like something, you can always change it. A lot of these plants back to the 120 gallon, they, for some reason, again, most of the tank, the Anubias, all the plants were kind of in a decline a little bit, but they seem to, whatever I'm doing, I seem to be doing it right again. I'll be more consistent with fertilizing, my fertilizing schedule. All these plants were yellowing at some point. They all look very nice and green now, and that's without CO2. Hopefully, once I add the CO2 again, I just needed to redo the lines and get the tank refilled. So give it a try. Nothing wrong with plants, with plastic plants. I just don't like to overdo it, so that then the tank winds up looking too fake and too much plastic. This tank here is a friend in the Dominican Republic, in Puerto Plata City. I recently visited there for summer vacation with my family and set up a tank that was gifted to my sister-in-law, and you can see it. I did a video on that one. This tank, he just keeps shrimps here. As you can see, he loves more planted tanks than he does fish. I was told by my sister-in-law Carmelina that recently he redid one of these tanks where it's only full planted tank. This other planted tank here looks pretty nice. He has actually downsized. He had a whole bunch of plants when he lived in the Punta Cana area. These tank, he does inject CO2 on both of them. He uses canister filtration on both of them. I asked him what brand of canister this was. He said this really is a no-name brand of canister, and he uses it on both. He plans to expand at some point back to what he had before, so both are canister filtered and CO2 injection. So I thank him for sharing these tanks with me. I wanted to share them with you. As hobbyists, you know that we're always looking for other people and enjoy their tanks, as hopefully you can enjoy ours also. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you have not done so, please subscribe, share, like, and press the notification bell. Thank you for your support and visiting our channel.